a man woke up feeling terrible with a hunk of metal stuck in his belly. He pulled it out, patched up the hole, put on his spaceman suit, and checked out the busted-up spaceship. Things were a mess, especially the sleeping place. Armed with a laser gun, he left the ship and saw a weird critter swimming in a pool of water nearby. Long, long ago, way before humans ever roamed the Earth, there were aliens exploring the universe. On a faraway planet called Somaris, there was a guy named Mills. He was hanging out on the beach with his daughter Nevine and his wife Alia. Mills had taken a job that would keep him away for 2 whole years. Usually, he did shorter trips, but this time he needed the extra money to help pay for Nevine's treatment. While on the beach, Mills taught Nevine how to whistle with her hands, just like he used to. But then, he had to talk to her about his long journey. Later, Mills found himself in charge of a spaceship with a crew in frozen sleep. One day, while the ship was cruising through space, it ran into a bunch of meteorites. These space rocks hit the ship, and it started falling apart. Mills rushed to the cockpit, sent an SOS signal, and tried to land on the nearest planet. The ship broke into 2 pieces, and Mills passed out, thinking about his daughter. Waking up in pain with metal in his belly, Mills removed it, sealed the wound, suited up, and checked the wrecked ship, including the messed-up cryo chamber. He armed himself with a laser gun and headed out, stumbling upon a weird creature in a nearby pool. Sadly, Mills discovered that none of his crew had survived. He searched the whole ship and realized the escape pod was on the other half of the ship, which had landed somewhere else. So he sent out another SOS message, telling everyone he was in an unknown place. Feeling really stuck and hopeless, Mills thought about ending it all, but he couldn't do it because of his memories of Nevine. He listened to the messages she had sent him, just to hear her voice again. Suddenly, the ship's computer detected a working capsule nearby. Mills rushed to it and found a passenger named Koa inside. He helped her out, and they headed back to the ship. On their way, Mills saw a huge paw print on the ground and realized they were on Earth. But not the Earth we know today. This was Earth 65 million years ago, filled with dinosaurs. They made it back to the ship, and as night fell, Mills dreamed of Nevine asking where he was. The next morning, Mills was determined to escape to save Koa and get back to his daughter. He used the ship's computer to look for the other half of the ship but couldn't find it. Mills explored the area outside and saw some massive dinosaur bones, which made him realize how dangerous it was. He got hit by a hot geyser blast, which he didn't expect. After recovering, Mills noticed something shiny in the distance and realized the other half of the ship was on a faraway mountain. He was suddenly attacked by a small dinosaur but managed to fend it off. More noises came from the woods, and Mills found out that Koa had left the ship. He chased after her, and they both ended up falling off a ledge and discovering a dead dinosaur. Suddenly, a bigger dinosaur approached, and Mills grabbed Koa and ran back to the ship. While he tended to her wound, he tried to explain the situation, but they couldn't understand each other because their languages were different, and the ship's translator was broken. To make Koa understand, Mills used red powder on a tablet to draw the mountain with the escape pod. Koa drew her family, and Mills pretended her family was on the mountain too. Afterward, Mills sent out another SOS message, this time mentioning he'd found a survivor. While Koa watched the recordings of Nevine, they learned that Nevine's illness had worsened during the first year of Mills's journey, and she had to go to the hospital. As they continued their difficult journey, Mills and Koa grew closer. One day, Koa picked some berries and tried to throw them at Mills just to tease him. Annoyed, Mills scanned the berries and realized they were poisonous, warning Koa not to play with them. Later, a big bug landed on Mills, and he got sticky goo all over his fingers while trying to get rid of it. Koa laughed at him. To tease her back, Mills tried to touch her with his sticky hand. But their game was interrupted when a small dinosaur got stuck in sticky goo. Koa wanted to help it, but Mills thought it was too dangerous. Eventually, he ended up helping her, but the poor creature was attacked by predators soon after. They continued their journey, stopping at a waterfall to wash and fill their water bottle. Mills worried about his stomach wound, but thinking of Nevine gave him the strength to carry on. Koa found some pretty flowers and insisted on putting one in Mills' hair. While Mills scanned the area, the meteorite suddenly appeared in the sky. Koa found some poisonous berries and wrapped them around a big bone to make a weapon. Then, Mills accidentally fell from a tree and dislocated his arm. As they tried to fix it, dinosaurs heard the noise and approached. Mills had to use bombs to get rid of some of them. Later, a flying dinosaur attacked Koa, but Mills saved her. However, one dinosaur grabbed Koa and dragged her away. Mills scared it off with a shot, but now Koa was too scared to be near him. Mills whistled like he used to for Nevine to calm Koa down, and it worked. They kept walking, and eventually found a cave to spend the night. Mills set up sensors for safety and watched the sky with his scanner. Koa showed him one of Nevine's tapes, which brought comfort to both of them. Mills couldn't sleep and remembered the day Alia told him that Nevine had died in the hospital. He cried. Suddenly, the sensors went crazy, and a huge dinosaur appeared outside the cave. Mills shot it, and they ran through a narrow passage, unaware that a smaller dinosaur was following them. After a long journey, they reached a dead end. Mills tried to dig through the rocks to make an escape, but it didn't work. Koa got angry and demanded they try again, saying family. Mills tried to explain they were dead, but she couldn't understand. So he used some bombs to make a hole big enough for Koa to crawl through. Unfortunately, the hole collapsed, and Mills lost contact with Koa. Hearing a dinosaur approaching, Mills went back to the cave. When the dinosaur attacked, Mills used his scanner to locate it and fought it off. Koa made it outside and used bombs to save Mills from the quicksand. They hugged and talked about the approaching meteorite. They finally reached the base of the mountain. Koa climbed up first and secured the rope for Mills. They found the other half of the ship and activated the computer to call for rescue. Koa looked for her family and realized Mills had lied. She cried, and Mills explained that he lost his daughter while he was on a job. Suddenly, smaller meteorite pieces began falling, and the pod got knocked down the mountain. Koa woke up first and tried to launch the pod, but it got attacked by dinosaurs. Mills had to leave the pod to fix the gun, and they fought off the dinosaurs. Using a hologram of Nevine, they distracted the creatures and launched the pod. While heading home, Mills pretended he would reunite with Nevine soon, so Koa comforted him by holding his hand.